Hello and welcome to the third and final part of this three-part series looking at the future of the online shopping industry. The aim of this series has been to explore the short-term future of the online shopping industry and to take a look at how the industry has been changed by AR and VR technologies, with a particular interest in how COVID-19 may have impacted the timeline for the implementation of these technologies. In this video, we will be making some predictions for the short-term future of online shopping, based off of the observed patterns and previous use of the technology within the industry, which we discussed in the first two parts of this series. Hallie Palmaki, in her article Imagine a Good Day, Bertrand Digivaldi's ideas of possible futures in the context of fictitious and historical narratives, argues that all possible futures have to be descendant of the present, just like the present is of the past, which is why to predict the future we must look to the past. This is precisely what we have been doing throughout this series so far, in order to give foundation to the predictions that are about to be made in this final video. So without further ado, let's get into some predictions. Augmented reality will be embraced by most consumers in the very near future. In the last 2 years, we have seen significant changes to how a society functions on the day-to-day. One of these changes was the mandatory implementation of QR codes at venues to allow customers to check in and out. QR code technology works very similarly to that of AR technology in terms of how consumers use the technology through their phone camera. It is because of this newfound comfort and understanding of how to use this similar technology that I think consumers who previously might have struggled to understand or embrace AR technology will now be actually open to the idea of it, and I am not the only one who thinks this. Research conducted in 2020 showed that technology adoption timelines are shrinking significantly. Previously, new technologies took decades to penetrate the market, but today's emerging technologies are becoming the norm far faster. Augmented reality will soon become a standard for large online fashion and beauty retailers. Research by ABI predicts that by 2022, over 120,000 stores will be using AR, and it is predicted that AR technology alone will account for as much as 3% of all e-commerce revenue within 1 year or sooner. Building on this prediction, I would argue that the majority of those stores will be large online fashion or beauty retailers, following in the footsteps of Sephora and ASOS. Why? Because according to Think with Google, realistic sizing is one of the most influential aspects for consumers when deciding to buy soft goods online. AR, as we have discussed before, can drastically reduce or even eliminate this problem, as people will be able to see the products on themselves, which would be hugely beneficial to the fashion and beauty industry in particular. VR technology will be abundant in physical locations, acting as showrooms for large e-commerce stores. Brick and mortar stores were already losing sales to e-commerce stores before the effects of the pandemic hit in early 2020, and the pandemic only made this worse, with the US retail sector losing 34.5% of its overall shopper volume between May 2019 and October 2020. Many stores during this time were forced to either close down entirely or move online. E-commerce in this time, however, boomed. Up 37% from January 2020, there were 22 billion global visits to retail websites in June of the same year. So it is not so far-fetched to think that online is where some of these retailers will stay. If this is the case, I believe that many retailers may opt to follow in the footsteps of IKEA and Amazon and implement in-person VR experiences such as showrooms or kiosks in the available shop fronts in shopping centres and other hubs where people gather. These experiences would allow people to shop online through the headsets, style items, see the scale and features of the items, as well as interact with the items themselves. I would believe that VR showrooms and kiosks might even become the new department store, as in a company which houses the VR catalogues for many smaller companies and runs the in-person showrooms. This might also be a way that we see smaller retailers break into the VR technology sector in the near future, while it is still so expensive to produce. One thing that is for certain, whether these exact predictions come true in the next 5 to 10 years, only time will tell. But one thing I am very certain of is that AR and VR technology in the online shopping industry will take off. It is only a matter of when. What do you think will happen to online shopping in the future? Thanks for watching.